Tonight's dinner, Hillary Clinton was crisscrossing the state trying to sway uncommitted voters. She started early this morning in Kinston, where she explained her plans to use windfall profits from oil companies to finance a federal gas tax break for consumers. From there, the senator went west to Hendersonville, where she talked about a new report that shows fewer jobs available nationwide. She also discussed the historical importance of Tuesday's primary.
It's been a long time since North Carolina got to help pick a president, and I am thrilled that that's exactly what you're going to do on Tuesday.
Clinton will continue courting North Carolina voters tomorrow with campaign stops in Cary, Wake Forest, and Mooresville. And Senator Clinton is getting a boost from her family to appeal to as many as voters as possible. Today, Chelsea Clinton made campaign appearances in Winston-Salem and Lexington.
Barack Obama is also going after North Carolina voters, though he was delayed a little in getting here. He was scheduled to speak in Charlotte at 5:30, but that event is just now getting underway. Obama started his day in Indiana, which also holds a primary Tuesday. During a stop in Munster, Obama talked about his opposition to a federal gas tax holiday, saying it would not help the average consumer much. He also discussed a new report that showed 20,000 jobs were lost nationwide last month.
When I'm president, we'll stop giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas and start giving them to companies that create good-paying jobs here at home. We'll focus on long-term job growth, rather than put highway funding at risk, like my opponents are proposing. This morning we learned...
Also today, Michelle Obama, Senator Obama's wife, campaigned for her husband in Durham. Just like her husband, Mrs. Obama was delayed because of weather, but that did not faze her supporters, including Durham Mayor Bill Bell, who tells NBC 17 the entire Durham City Council is supporting the Obama campaign.
Likely Republican nominee John McCain is also speaking on the economy today. During a town hall meeting in Denver, the Arizona senator spoke with voters about his plan to help the economy that he says will ensure future generations are better off than the current one. He says he understands the stress high food and fuel costs are putting on families.
Price of a gallon of gas continues up. Why don't we give American working men and women a little break for the summer? Just a little break for the summer. I mean, it's not the end of Western civilization as we know it.
Is open to
Next week, Senator McCain will bring his campaign to North Carolina with a stop in Charlotte Monday and at Wake Forest University on Tuesday. And tonight, another Republican presidential candidate is speaking to voters in the Triangle. Right now, Ron Paul is speaking to voters at Duke University in Durham. Earlier today, he spoke inside Carmichael Auditorium at UNC Chapel Hill. We have a crew at tonight's event. We'll bring you more tonight on NBC 17 News at 11.
While much of the focus of the upcoming primary is on the race for president, there's also a hotly contested governor's race. Today, Democratic candidate Richard Moore cast his ballot in Henderson. Moore, who is state treasurer, is challenging Lieutenant Governor Bev Perdue for the Democratic nomination. Charlotte Mayor Pat McCrory, State Senator Fred Smith, Bob Orr, and Bill Graham are the four candidates seeking the Republican nomination.
Well, a Raleigh woman, meanwhile, is showing that the right to vote knows no age. Today, 101-year-old Hazel Thomas cast her ballot at the Wake County Board of Elections. After casting her vote at the one-stop early voting location, Ms. Thomas talked about how much things have changed in her lifetime, especially when it comes to the ability to vote.
It's America to know that you have the privilege to vote. Haven't always been this privilege to vote. And I wanted all to know they have a right to vote.
She's 101 years old and looks fabulous. Wake County elections officials say Thompson, she sets an example we should all follow.
Well, apparently a lot of people are following her lead and voting early. At one-stop voting locations, you can not only vote early, you can also register and vote at the same time. So far, the focus on the presidential primaries has early voting numbers shattering any and all old records. Tonight, our Chris Copperthwaite shows us how candidates are taking note and taking advantage of the voter surge.
As soon as the one-stop voting started at Cary's Herbert C. Young Community Center, several candidates set up shop.
I've been here since last Saturday.
The first day was on Saturday.
I was here for part of the time on Saturday.
They had good reason, too. Every day, hundreds of people were filing past, each one a potential vote.
How are you? I'm Josh Stein.
The Board of Elections even upped the number of one-stop voting stations to 8. They've gone with as few as 1 in the past.
I've been here since 1991, and since that time, no, there's never been anything like this.
Candidates say it's a great opportunity to get their message out, especially in so-called down-ballot races, the ones that many people might not know much about before they show up to vote.
There's usually about a 20% drop-off between the top of the ticket and this race. Excuse me. Hi, I'm Jack Nichols, Democratic candidate run for the state Senate.
Nichols and Stein are facing off for the same state Senate nomination and have spent the week jockeying for position 10 feet apart from each other.
We've been very cordial. Yeah, Jack's a nice guy, and we've been treating each other very well.
Candidates aren't the only ones who've noticed either. Voters are feeding off the excitement too.
I think it is magnificent. It really is. It just shows what America's all about.
And to think these numbers will be dwarfed by Tuesday's turnout. From Cary, Chris Copperthwaite, NBC 17 News.
It's a beautiful thing to see. Well,